Hello and welcome to the Voltcast. I'm your host George. This is the weekly podcast where I sit down and chat to professional athletes and coaches to learn more about them and to work out how they got to the position they are in today. If you're watching on YouTube, I've decided to move the videos over to my main channel, George Runs, as it seems like a logical step to have all my running content in one place. I'll be posting previous interviews weekly to this channel too. Today we're joined by members of Under Armour Baltimore Mission Run, Adam Fogg, Casey Coomer and John Reniewicki. We chat about all things running, improving the sport and much more. I'll let them introduce themselves, so without further ado, let's jump in to the vault. Can you guys introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, so I'm Adam Fogg, born in England, grew up in Australia, went to Drake University in America, and now, running with the Baltimore distance team with Under Armour, based in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm John Reniewicki. I grew up in Arizona in the United States, went to Arizona State University, and been with Under Armour now for 2 years. The first year was just kind of like an individual contract, and lucky enough now that we have a team to back us at the headquarters in Maryland, and now I get to run with these guys every day, and loving every minute of it.
What a treat.
Yeah, I'm Comer. I'm from just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in the U.S., and I went to Villanova, which is only 30 minutes away from where I grew up. Marcus O'Sullivan was my coach there, the famous Irish miler. And I've been lucky to join this team a little over a year ago when it was first being formed. And
Casey was like the first, I feel like, big sign for us, honestly.
The first outside recruit.
Yeah, first outside recruit, because I was already with the coach. I was already with Corey Leslie at the time, who started the team. So for me, it was kind of like a natural thing. But yeah.
Yeah, so John, you just said you were with your coach already. How did the idea of Mission Run come around? And obviously you were like the earliest recruit, so how's it been coming into a team now?
Yeah, the idea, I feel like, so I've been with our coach of this group, Corey Leslie, since college. He came in my junior year of college, and then when I was out of college, the first year I was unsigned, and I finally signed with Under Armour. I want to say it was even in some of those very early meetings, Corey was just kind of throwing out the idea more as not a joke, but just it's very wishful thinking of oh, it'd be great to have a group one day, just kind of planting the seed. And I think it just was one of those things that was oh yeah, that would be a good idea. And it kind of slowly turned into something over the course of a year. And then I remember distinctly picking up my coach from the airport one day. We were living in Boulder, Colorado at the time. And he had just gotten back from a trip. He was going to meet with some of the Under Armour higher ups were there. And he was yeah, I think this Under Armour thing is going to be a thing. I think we're going to move to Baltimore in a few months, and really it's going to be legit with proper backing from the brand. And yeah, it's been kind of from there. That was over a year ago. That was probably a year and a half ago. So from that moment to now, where we are now, I would say is what I've been waiting for the past year and a half, and sort of finally be here is super surreal. And it's exciting because now I feel we're finally we have all the pieces in place with the strength coach, with the women's team now, the women's coach, massage set in place in Baltimore. Just everything is very organized now. So we really do just get to show up and train, and we're in such a good, unique setup to find success.
Casey, what was your story like joining the team when you first kind of heard about it?
It would have been a year and a half ago now. I kind of had an up and down outdoor season, and I was right on the bubble to make the Olympic trials, and I didn't get in automatically, and then it goes to basically there's a time that you hit that you get in automatically, and then it would be a descending order list, and it got to the point where I didn't make it initially, and then guys were scratching out after doing other events. And at the last second, basically, Donovan Brazier, who's the world champion in the 800, was hurt and ended up scratching 2 days before from the 1500. So I got on a plane that night and flew out to Eugene to run at the Olympic trials. Got crushed, but I mean, at least I was there. And that's where I think I first talked to Corey that weekend. And at the time he was with Tinman Elite. And then there was just like a period of time where like I wasn't sure what was happening. I thought he was just like ignoring me. I wasn't sure like what was gonna happen.
It's funny to be on like this side, like no, because like he was talking about you like that indoor season, like oh yeah, like hypothetically if we start this Under Armour team, like I want Casey Callum. And like it's just funny you guys haven't even, like, talk to each other yet.
Yeah. So and then eventually when like things were finally like he could finally talk about it, I was so excited. Like I mean, our group is now based 2 hours from where I grew up too. Like it just can't. It was kind of like the perfect storm and like the perfect situation for me. And then later that summer, I did a road mile in Yakima, Washington, which is out in like the northwest part of the U.S. To end my season. And on the way back, I stopped in Boulder, Colorado, where John and Corey and Jackson were. And I remember talking about like potentially signing a contract with Corey as we were hitting golf balls in the driving range out there. So that's kind of my origin story with the team. And then from there, things kind of just started to come together, and then moved to Baltimore that October.
Yeah, and then Adam finally.
Newest one here. I guess we're in Arizona right now, so newest one to the Baltimore team. Corey texted me actually in January. I was in England for winter break. Still in college. I was going into like my final indoor season in college. And Jay, my coach in college, he told me that Corey got in touch with him and kind of asked if he would be all right to reach out to me and kind of get in touch and have a chat about kind of Under Armour and what was kind of being planned with the Mission Run group, the distance group in Baltimore. So then we chatted from basically January. We had a few phone calls kind of throughout indoor and outdoor. And I chatted to a couple of groups, but kind of from the start, I really liked the idea of being part of a new group. Obviously it can kind of go either way, but I kind of really like the idea of being part of something new, and being able to be, a member of a new team to hopefully try and build something special. And then, indoor was pretty not ideal. It started off pretty well. I thought I was in pretty good shape, and then I got smashed at nationals. Got to outdoor and was running okay, and then in May I got ill and had to get my appendix out, so my season was done. But the whole way through, Corey was kind of talking to me, like from January, he was kind of saying nothing I do from that point on will kind of change the way he thinks of me, other than winning a national title, which would, be pretty good for
good for you,
a contract. Yeah. So literally, other than like winning a national title, nothing I could do would kind of like make me worse off in his eyes. So I ended up having my appendix out in May. That was my season in the NCAA over. I went back to England, and then I ended up signing in June. Did a few races in Europe, and then went out to Baltimore in August. Had another couple of races, and then that was kind of my story. So still pretty fresh to Baltimore. Only been out there for a couple of months, but loving it so far. So far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, I find it quite funny. Like when you announced that you were joining the Under Armour team, you then just like went and did laps of Warwick Uni, which is just like such a funny thing. Which is like that tempo, that 1K loop that you were doing. Is like where I've worked out like for 3 years. So it's just crazy, like small world, and I never saw you. So
yeah, it's a great loop. I'll be back there for sure. I'm sure probably in the summer. Maybe even a little bit in the winter. I'll be back in England for a little bit. My cousins are from Coventry, so that's kind of like their local loop. We run down. It's 2 miles to the uni, and then a few loops of that. Can't beat that. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Does Derby play Coventry City like pretty often?
Or? Derby and Coventry play twice a season.
Okay.
Coventry are in the championship right now, though, I think. So not this season.
Okay.
Yeah, because Derby are in League One.
Are you a Coventry fan if you live there?
Am I a Coventry fan? I am not a Coventry fan at all. What's my football team? Chelsea.
Oh,
Yeah,
fair enough.
in the
Fair
Premier
enough.
League. So,
Yeah.
what about you guys?
Derby County, the mighty Rams. Yep. You got
I
one?
don't really have one.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's tough, like, being from the U.S. Like, the Philadelphia Union are, like, our MLS team in my, like, town. But I like to follow, like, the American players in the Prem. Like, and if I had to choose a Prem team that's, like, relatively competitive on a year-to-year basis, I'd choose Spurs. But it's not like I'm, like, a diehard fan.
Adam's we have like a team
He's
fantasy football league.
Well, yeah.
I'm winning right now.
We draft players, and he has
How are you doing that?
no clue what he's doing, and he's leading the league.
Yeah, out of 10 people, I'm number one so far. We're what, 10 weeks in?
This is week 11. Yeah.
Yeah, 11 weeks in. Like,
There you
it
go.
starts. So week 11 begins tonight.
Lots
so
of
we'll be
trash talking to commence later.
hoping for a big week. Yep.
Yeah. So how
Yeah.
have you got your guys' like summer season been? Obviously, I saw you, Adam. You raced the British Champs this year. Unfortunately, didn't get through to the final. Like, yeah, can you give me a rundown of the British Champs race?
Yeah. That was. Yeah. I mean, that was definitely a tough one. That was 6.5, 7 weeks after I had my appendix out. And when I had my appendix out, the doctors said it was going to be 4 weeks of absolutely nothing. I ended up having like 2 weeks completely off, and then I eased back into it. But you have to be pretty careful because you've got a few like kind of cuts, and then on the inside you're a little bit cut up as well. So my first race back in England, I did a BMC race at British Milers Club, 1500, and I got absolutely whooped. I ran 3:48, and that was 9 days before British Champs, and 8 or 9 days before my heat at British Champs. Yeah, and I thought after that race, like, is there any point in racing at British Champs? But then I kind of thought, why not? I'm entered in it. I'll give it a crack and see how I go. It ended up being quite a tactical heat. I think I came fourth, fifth,
It was slow.
sixth in my heat. I can't even remember, to be honest, but I ran 350. And it was much more tactical. I think we were like 206 or 207 through 800. So I was kind of like closing all right. Like, it was fitness was coming back basically. So that was a bit disappointing not to make the final, but to be honest, going into it, especially based on how I'd raced literally the week before, I didn't particularly expect to, be doing anything special. Then I went off to Europe for a few races out there, and it kind of came together. I got fit. I went off to altitude with a few guys from Australia for a couple of weeks, altitude in Italy. And yeah, I kind of like saved the back end of the season after like a bit of a rocky kind of 2 months in there, I guess, with the appendix. But yeah, British Champs overall, like, not ideal, but it was good to be there, and I think it was kind of good stepping stone for getting back into race fitness for sure. Yeah.
How about you guys, John and Casey? How's your season's been? You've recently done a half, haven't you, John?
Knowledge, man.
We did there's a half marathon and a marathon. It's part of what they call Baltimore Run Festival weekend in the Baltimore area where we're based. And I did the half marathon. Casey did. What did you do? 5K.
I paced.
Oh, that's right. You guys paced the marathon. That's
it was
right.
a treat. Yeah.
We had another teammate do the 10K, another teammate do the 5K. So everybody kind of just does an event. But yeah, I raced the half there. Season before that was okay. I spent probably like more than half of 2021 pretty like banged up with just different injuries, unfortunately. And so like 2022 was like just kind of a slow start, just with that lingering. US champs were okay. I mean, it was nothing like great. It was just kind of like average races for the most part. I kind of got my wheels going reasonably well in the summer. We did a couple road races that I was proud of and kind of was slowly starting to feel like myself again. And then we ended the season, the proper season. Fogg and I went out to was that New Jersey?
Monmouth,
yeah,
New Jersey.
We did this track mile in Monmouth. I was feeling pretty fit at the time. as people always say. But then like literally like the day before, I got this like obnoxious like head cold. I just remember sitting in like the hotel with Fogg, just being like, dude, I feel awful. Like, I would have probably like dropped out if it was a bigger race, but it was pretty like small, low key meets. I was like, all right, like we're already here, might as well race. And
we did our shakeout that morning.
I was
like, and I didn't feel great.
Like 10-minute pace, and I was just like, I can't run fast.
Yeah, we did 1 mile.
It was awful. So yeah, kind of
1 mile shakeout for a mile.
It is as like unimpressive as the performances was. Like, I was able to train. I've been training now for like 11 months uninterrupted, like without an injury, which for me is like a very long time. Like, I've only made it a year of healthy training once in my career before. And so like right now in this moment, I'm feeling pretty good, and knock on wood, just trying to, stay injury free and roll into a big season right now with these guys.
I mean, I had some of probably the most frustrating moments of my career last spring and summer. And I mean, a lot of it's my own fault. I got a little bit banged up with like a foot injury. Basically like my big toe muscle. I was having a hard time pushing off my right foot. And I'd come off an indoor season where I started out running 3:54 for the mile. It was the fastest I'd ever run. And kind of just like, I don't know. I think I was just like trying to like push things a little bit too hard, and got banged up. I went out. I was still trying to force together like a 1500 time to try to make USAs and be competitive. So I basically flew out to California and raced on like a taped up foot. And just kind of dug myself in a hole and didn't allow myself the time I needed to heal. And just continued to get frustrated until eventually I was just like mentally, I was just like, I need to like check out for a bit. And then the last couple of months, like, I mean, I feel like at this moment fitter than I felt the entire summer last year. So I mean, I guess the moral of the story is like, no matter how pressing, like when you're trying to force, a qualifying time or something like that, like it's so tempting to just like push through. But like, if you don't give yourself a chance to heal and get better, then, you're not doing what's best for you. So hopefully I'm not in that situation again, but having learned from that, I think I know the sacrifices that need to be made. But now I'm excited to hopefully run a fast 5K this first week of December.
Nice.
But ultimately just taking things a little bit slower from a training perspective and understanding that it's a long year, so we can approach things better. I think both Corey, our coach, and I have just done a good job, like kind of reassessing things. And as a group, we're on a 9-day schedule now, which I think has been really nice, especially while we're up here at altitude, giving enough time to recover between quality days. So I'm excited for this year.
Yeah, nice. I think this kind of like leads quite well on to like national champs and stuff. I know Adam probably experienced it when he went to Manchester, and maybe John as well. Like when you were at USA's, like the crowds just seemed to be pretty dead. I mean, like I'm not sure if you saw the crowd at British Champs, but there's probably like just friends and family there of the athletes and just no one else. Like all the stands were pretty much empty, and I think it was quite a similar case. Obviously, there was more people at the USA's, but like, how would you guys try and like bring more young people into the sport to like come and watch? Because obviously these are like huge races that determine kind of the rest of the season, and like I feel like obviously when you have a crowd to watch you and cheer you on, like there's obviously going to be way more of a push from you. Like people perform like a lot better with
for sure
more support. So how would you improve it?
On the topic of British champs, we actually, on our long run this morning, we saw Jake Wightman out there. So, it was kind of cool. He just ran past. But
we're getting flashbacks from your heat.
I was lining up next to him in my heat. So, good memories. That great times. I don't know. It's always a tough question, to be honest. Like, do you guys have a good answer? Because
I have like the quick answer and then like a long answer. I feel like quick answer is like, okay, if like you just want to get more people to the meet without like rewriting the playbook, which I mean I would probably argue that like you kind of need to like tear everything down and build it back up again if we really want to make track and field a popular sport like globally, especially in the United States. It's like it's tough because like you look at when I raced the US 10K, it was at pre-classic, and like even then, like with the big of a meet that is, and like the names that brings in, like stands were pretty empty. But then you look at like the Commonwealth Games.
Oh, it was packed.
The stadium
in Birmingham.
was extremely packed. So it's like
every day,
like a location thing. It's like instead of Eugene, if we did it somewhere in like LA, or we did it in just like an area where there's more people, that like if there's the expenses of flying in. I don't know, but like I feel like big picture, it's almost like you need to just come up with some kind of a league where like the athletes are a part of, and like you're required to race a certain number of times, and like you have to race like all these meets. So it's like there's more head-to-heads and there's more continuity, because like as a fan it's so hard to follow this sport, because like Casey might race like 2 meets this year, I might race like 1 or 2 this indoor, like all different. There's like we're coming up with our own schedules and picking them extremely last minute, and nobody as a fan knows until they're just like looking at the stream that weekend. So it's like if there was some kind of league set up where it's like, here are the meets, here's the calendar, like you're racing every other one, and you have to do like, I don't know, whatever your event is, like 4 times. Like, yeah, we're gonna have to race more, but it's like if we want the sport to grow and be popular, like racing is what people are interested in. Like you have to do that more and give them more storylines to be interested about.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
No,
go on.
I think like intertwining the professional sport with the amateur sport is like a good way to do it. I think that like Under Armour did something like kind of brilliant recently. Like Adam and I helped pace the marathon, and Under Armour basically for the release of their new super shoe, essentially like sponsored like local elite, sub-elite athletes for one race, the Baltimore Marathon, and gave like incentives to come top 3 or run a certain time. I think that doing something like that on like the world stage with like whatever the host country is or something, like brands step in and like they add in maybe like a masters javelin or like an under 18 800, something like that, with like a little bit of prize money or something, just to like intertwine the professional sport with the amateur sport. And like I know it seems some people may say like, oh, people should just be entertained by the fact that these are the best athletes in the world competing, but I think that like if you add another element of like people from this host country, this local area, like are watching people like them compete, intertwined, like I think that it's exciting because it gives them a chance to kind of picture themselves running at that stage, and also puts into perspective these performances that they're seeing, like how good that these athletes really are competing at the world stage. So, I mean, I think that's just that's kind of a way that over time could get people more familiar, more interested. That's a stepping stone to get people more interested in the professional sport.
I think those really good points. I think like it's so hard to do because there's so little money in track and field because it's not that popular. But getting it more popular and doing things like that would probably help. And then more brands might get on board. There might be a little bit more money in it to really kind of push it. And with that, it's a long way off. But with something like Drive to Survive, this is like a pretty standard answer. I feel like having like storylines where people can follow along, and like where people from the outside like feel like they know the athletes a little bit more. I think so many more people would actually be interested in going and watching them compete because they feel like they are a bit more invested in their actual stories. It's not just going and half the people at the Commonwealth Games, I feel like, didn't have a clue what was going on. I went to a few days and like there were people kind of sitting there just like asking questions to. I was hearing conversations where people would be asking, how many laps is this 1500? Like, why are they starting over there? Like, people like the Commonwealth Games did a really great job. Like, the stadium was packed, and so I don't know why.
I was gonna say that. The crowd looked a lot
every
better.
day. Every day was packed. Morning session, evening session, like it was completely packed. So for like world champs, maybe it is like a location thing. Like, but there's clearly like potential for it. And then if doing things like that, got a bit more money in it, one day, who knows, getting more like athlete stories in there. The problem with that though is I feel like so many people are so private with their stuff. Like me having YouTube is like very rare, I feel like. And even with that, it's not like every workout is filmed, every what we have for breakfast every day. It's like that's
pretty curated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like every workouts are filmed. You know, we filmed the long run this morning. It's like it would be difficult to make that happen, but I think it would help for sure. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like Sweat Elite started this kind of drive to survive almost series. You know, Ed Goddard, like at the moment they're just following him everywhere he goes. And it's just like he does sometimes say like, oh, we didn't film that workout, but then he has to like talk through it and stuff like that. And I do think like it is starting to show on YouTube, like that's probably the best way of doing it. But also I feel like Sound Running's doing a good job. I'm not sure if you guys are racing, but they've got that meet, the cross country meet, where teams are going to go head to head. Are you guys doing it?
We're meant to be. Yeah.
Nice.
Like we should.
So for sure, Fogg, myself, and then another teammate, Alec Baston. The three of us are racing. Hopefully, we'll have a fourth lining up with us. We can get a team score, and just it'd be sad.
If you need a fourth, I'll fly over.
We'll fly you. We'll fly you in. Austin.
Wild card entry.
Like a job, and like I think one, like they do a good job like advertising their meets and like encouraging the brands to like produce content and create good storylines. But two, just like they share their like the streams of the race in such a good cohesive way. I mean they're probably one of the best things that come out of the pandemic is like the need for like meets at the professional level to not be like held at like places like Stanford with college campuses where they're going to get canceled and things like that. But yeah, Sound Running is tremendous.
So let's get into a bit of trash talk. Are you gonna beat Tinman Elite? Are you gonna be on?
It's funny that Tinman, because I was obviously Corey was coaching them, and like I'd say I'm like reasonably good friends with a few of them. I mean I don't know like who they'll bring. I'm 99% sure they're racing. I just don't know who they'll have line up. But I mean, of course, I would love to beat them. We just need a fourth guy right now. I will say though, our teammate Alec just went to the 5K champs, and I think they had like 2 or 3 guys racing, and he took them all down. So we're feeling pretty good about our chances at the moment. So
as long as Alec pulls through, we can.
So Fogg I can stand back.
We'll stumble in, and Alec will carry us through.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Joey is racing the cross, and he was in the 5K champ. So if he slaps him up, then I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah. No, it should be good fun.
Casey, you're not racing then?
No, I honestly had my heart set on running a 5K before it was even announced, and I definitely I feel a little bad about not going, but I really am excited about trying to run a fast 5K. Plus, it's in Boston. My brother's there. All my family's gonna go. So I mean, I'm excited about that too. So, I mean, obviously I'll be like watching and cheering these guys on, but my return to the grass will have to wait.
Okay, cool. So what are you guys' like goals for next year? Obviously, Casey, you got your 5K coming up. Are you looking to PB or PR?
That's this week still though. That's in December. I mean, like I think part of the reason why I wanted to do it too is with this like kind of long, slow build up. I just want to see what I can do just off the aerobic stuff that we're doing. And I was disappointed last year being banged up. I was trying to scrap together every opportunity to run a 15 I could, and I never really had the chance to consider running a 5K. So I want to start out with one this year, and depending on how it goes, I may try to get another one in in the spring when all the gears are turning and we've done some more significant work on the track. But I mean, my focus as of right now will still be the 1500. We'll kind of build up to one fast race probably at the end of the winter, do a big reset, and then since the championships are so late in the spring and the summer this year, like USA's is until July, Worlds is until the end of August. Doing a full reset after February is definitely in the cards, and then you can kind of push like big races back until May, June, getting ready for championships. So I mean, I try not to like be too concrete about like where exactly I'm going, where I'm racing yet, but I have a general map, and Corey and I continue to discuss that every couple of weeks.
Nice. You guys?
It's one of those things right now. It's like I'm kicking myself like talking about this because like the previous question of like how do you make the sport better? It's like like race more and like know what you're doing before and like have it laid out. But it's like it really is one of those things right now where it's just like get fit and then like we'll put races on the schedule. Obviously, right now with this cross country meet in 2 weeks for sure, but then it'll probably turn into 2 to 3 races this indoor season, maybe US indoors, which still hasn't been announced like when it will be, but depending on like when that falls in the calendar.
Did they announce it? It's in Albuquerque in
Did Corey say that or is it official?
February. I'm pretty sure it's official.
Okay,
it's on the Flint
news
Sports
to me.
schedule. Yeah.
News to me. Anyways, so potentially US indoors, and then like after that, short reset, and then just kind of back into track. I'm personally going to focus on the 10K on the track this year. Outdoors, indoors, I'd like to probably focus on the 3K for US champs. But yeah, that's kind of my plan.
Yeah. And then, for me, we've got obviously cross country in 2 weeks today, funnily enough.
Nerves.
Get ready. But yeah, and then after that, it'll be back to England for Christmas and then back over to Baltimore. Probably open up indoor end of January with either a mile or 1500. And then hopefully try and run a 3K fast start of February. Come back to England for UK indoors, which is February 18 and 19, I think. And I really want to have a crack at qualifying for European indoors in either the 1500 or the 3K. That is, I mean, it's definitely going to be tough. Like, I think I can run a qualifying time. I'm pretty reasonably confident of that. But then kind of being in that top 2 or 3 is the hard part. But being a World Championships year, I don't think it's off the cards by any means. And Phil Sessamon, I think he's run 7:51 for the 3K, which is what I've run, and he went to European Indoors 2021. So definitely a possibility, and I feel like going something like that would be a huge stepping stone. I mean, it's going to be very hard to make it, and it kind of seems silly to even mention it as like a big goal, but I feel like I'm 23. I would love to make a team like that, race at European Indoors, and then onto outdoor after that. So probably similar to these guys after indoor, a little bit of a reset, and then outdoor, try and get through my heat at British Champs, and see what happens. Probably I'll be focusing on the 1500, I think, unless something drastic changes. But yeah, we'll kind of see where the outdoor season takes us, and hopefully just stay healthy, run fast, and see what happens.
I think that leads quite well on to the next point, which is the no context track section. I'm sure for all the viewers, basically this is inspired by the Instagram account no context track. I'm not going to give much context around what it is. Just go find it on Instagram, and you'll soon work out what it is. So I've sent John a picture of Adam, and Adam a picture of John, and they've got to come up with the context behind the story. There's no serious answers to this. It's literally just whatever they think comes to their head. So Adam, would you like to reveal to Casey and John the picture and also the camera as well?
Yeah. All right. So that is the picture we've got. All right. And the context is when you text your Hinge date that you've just bought yourself a new mattress and she tells you that she's out of town for the night. This is like nightmare. What a waste of money.
Absolutely. And John,
she says she won't because you don't have any sheets on your bed.
That's a good picture. I'm struggling with this one. Okay,
can I see
here's
it?
picture. So this one's the one of Fogg.
Nice. World Cup coming up. Yeah.
My context is who is the what was the Premier League that was just in Baltimore? Was it
Did Arsenal?
Liverpool was playing in.
I think it was
Liverpool.
Arsenal.
I think
it was either Arsenal or Liverpool. Anyways,
Yeah.
When Arsenal was in town, Fogg found out they had a player down, and so he was trying to get some in with the soccer ball to get ready.
Yeah, sign me
What
up.
was actually? So what was the actual? What was the real context, Adam, of that photo?
We're headed to the gym in like 40 minutes to go do this exact stuff.
Well,
this is not
that.
a real drill. Fogg was just around like pretending to be a footballer.
I've still got it. Yeah, I used to.
Yeah.
We were doing med ball throws on the turf outside Under Armour headquarters, which is like kind of right on the harbor. That's where that is. And then just after messing around.
But I'm not saying
Am I nearly wearing the same outfit? I've got the same shorts on right now. I'll show you. There they are.
Oh, look at them.
Yeah, same shorts, black shirt.
Alex.
Yeah. John's context real is, I guess, he got a free mattress and had to do a sponsored post.
That's a good no.
Yeah. What are you looking at on your phone though? Like what? You're so angry.
The caption was like, I can't remember what I captioned that. Something like I was trying to like look at my phone like as if it was. What did I fucking say?
Oh, it was how to. I think it was something like how to put
how to
sheets
fold
on
a
your bed or something.
Well, clearly you didn't figure
Yeah, so
it
I'm
out.
like, I'm
because there's
looking-
no sheets.
Looking perfect.
Nice. No, that's clever. Yeah.
Or just texting her to come over.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you all have your phones at the ready, we've now got a quiz. I know Adam likes his trivia. He's done it in a few videos before. He's asked athletes trivia questions.
Oh,
This is kind of a head-to-head. Casey, obviously get involved as well, but they're both the questions are about Adam and John. So whoever loses, there's going to be a forfeit. So the winner can either come up with the forfeit for the loser, or I've got one up my sleeve. If you can't think of one.
Okay.
So well, I've actually got two, and then you can choose what one you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are you ready? I'm going to read out the questions. I'm just going to go one by one.
Do we write down?
Yeah, just write down your answers so then they're locked in, and then we'll go through the answers at the end. Okay, so the first one is in the Fogg Dog exclusive, his first ever episode.
I have no clue.
Adam takes a trip to the barber's. What haircut does he get?
This should be so easy.
I'm starting off easy. It gets harder.
Do I answer as well? The ones about
Yeah.
Okay. You're a loyal fan.
All
We'd
right.
I love to hear
I
it.
got my answer locked in.
I'm not really. I just stalked your. I just stalked your YouTube the other day.
Fair enough.
You gotta play that off, man.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it got me through 4x2K on the treadmill
Nice.
threshold pace, which was not good. I've got a photo. Actually, I'll show you this.
Yeah. The first
What?
video got you through it. That first video. I think that first video was 5 minutes. You were running.
No. I literally put your. I just queued up a load of videos for your thing.
Nice. Oh, I love to
This
hear
is
it.
me at the end of my threshold.
What is going on in the background there?
Oh, that's a painting I did.
Oh, nice.
Interesting vibes.
Yeah.
For your treadmill.
Yeah.
It's a graffiti painting.
Oh, dear. I thought they were kissing.
Yeah,
They're about to.
Nice. Oh,
They
that's
are
good.
kissing in the photo. They are kissing. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's cute.
I would love to see it.
Some motivation for your treadmill running. All right.
Yeah.
think
Okay.
I'm-
So the second question is, in Adam's most recent episode, starring Casey and John, Adam says, "Good morning, sunshine" to John, but what does John reply?
I don't know. I just ramble on so much.
I've got it. I'm 2 for 2. Oh.
I know.
I mean, they're gonna get harder for you, Adam.
Yeah, I can imagine they will.
I think might have.
I'm lucky with this one.
Okay.
I might have actually got that wrong, but I'm
I
lucky.
think I got it.
I'm at an advantage because I have to watch it over and over again while I'm editing it.
Yeah, that's
so,
what I was gonna say. Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
So John and Adam, this year you have run 3K races. Who has run the most 3K races this year? Or like the 2022 season?
2022. Oh.
Yeah. According to World Athletics, this is.
Yeah. Okay. Done.
Okay, what is John's 10K PB?
You have to write it down as
I don't
well.
need to write it down. It's my PB.
Yeah, but you might.
Why?
So for John, you have to get it exactly right.
Oh,
but for Adam, he can be like, or Adam and Casey can be like tenths of a second. So you have to get it like
What?
exactly.
Are you having decimals now?
Yeah, you got John. If it's your PB, you got to know the decimals.
Decimals?
Okay,
It's not good enough of a PB to know the decimals.
Okay.
Okay.
In 2011, Adam ran a park run in Leamington Spa and finished 17th. What time did he finish it in?
5K?
Yeah.
How-
5K.
I remember. I was there.
It's hilly as well. It's hilly.
How old were you?
12.
It's hilly and on grass.
Hang on,
Yeah,
December.
Adam would have been 12.
December?
38.
December 2011, I think.
I'm not sure if it was December. It was just
You into
he
running
came
right
17th though.
I was into fitness.
now?
Oh,
Okay.
I think it was a PB that year, to be fair.
Yeah, congrats on the PB.
thank you. It wasn't an all-time PB. I'll tell you that much for free. But it might have been.
I think it might have been a park run. It was on Paraton.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near what you can run now, but
I would hope
okay.
not.
So according to can you imagine? According to World Athletics, who is ranked higher, Adam or John?
Overall, like, is that?
Yeah, total world ranking.
In 2022.
Yeah, well, I just go if I was to go on there right now, I can see both of you. Who is ranked higher? Okay, so I already gave this answer away earlier, so this is going to show how well Casey and John were listening. When Adam announced that he was joining Under Armour, he did a session at Warwick University. What was the session that he ran? It can be very broad, like I did.
He might have done.
Okay. I'm good. I'm done. Too easy. I reckon I'm 100% right now.
I definitely did horrible.
This is going to be an easy one for all of you. Who's raced most recently?
No.
According to World Athletics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Is Baltimore in World Athletics?
absolutely. Yeah, the half marathon, sure.
Is it?
I would think so. He mentioned the half marathon earlier, which means it has to be recorded somewhere.
Oh, then obviously it is.
And he's obviously been looking at World Athletics, so like that's what I would think.
Okay. Done.
Mm.
I like how we're just like
I
all talking.
can't confirm or deny.
Mm.
Right. This is going to be a hard one for Adam, I think, and maybe Casey. What high school did John go to?
Oh, I've got it.
This is some serious next level stalking by me.
No, he went to a different one.
They worked out because my dad was my high school coach, and he switched high schools, and we worked out at his new high school, so that's why they're confused.
Hang on, do you know the answer?
I've got an answer. There was like so. There was I did some like next level stalking. I found like a
I'm sure you
picture
got
of it was a picture of John when he first joined college, and it said what high school he went to, and that's where I got it from.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sure it's right.
Okay, and the final question. This is quite a subjective question. Is Adam more British or Australian?
Depends on the map.
All right, I'm done.
Depends on the map. You want to show the viewers the map?
One day. All right.
I'm good.
I'm good to go.
Okay, right. So the first answer is the
Yeah.
first question, the haircut, and Adam got a mullet.
Oh
Did we? Surely you got that.
no!
Oh no, I said skin fade.
I said, and I quote,
Oh
"Skin fade,
no!
wee little trim on top."
Yeah. All right.
Mullet?
1-0.
Why would that have been easy?
Because it's in the intro.
I didn't watch your video.
The intro. No. The intro. The.
Oh yeah, the crab thing.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know what that was?
That's the first ever episode. Right. On to number 2.
So Adam's
Sorry.
the response to "Good Morning Sunshine" was "Good Morning Snowflake."
Yes.
I got that.
I said, "Hey, baby girl." That's what I thought.
Those 3Ks, according to World Athletics, neither of you, because you've both run one.
Oh wow! I put John.
I put Adam Tyler in one.
Yeah. Wow. So I guess we both don't get that one.
Yeah, that was a bit of a curveball, that one. What is John's 10K PB? John, do you wanna say what yours 10K PB is?
Decimals right, so I'm embarrassed to say. It's 28.15, and I guess the decimals are. I have 2 guesses. It's either 0.95 or 0.42.
Oh, it's 0.65.
Oh,
So I'm gonna. You were very. What did you
you
put,
get?
Adam?
I got 28.12.6.
oh, so I was right. I mean, I get it. I'm not
So
sure.
I guess
Nah,
I.
I didn't have it.
Hang on. So are you claiming that as correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. John was the closest, so he's correct.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get the next one then.
Okay.
okay.
So what was Adam's? Adam came 17th at Parkrun in 2011. What time did he finish in?
I said 28.15.
I said 22:22.
Oh, you won't be far off. I said 23.46.
Wait, John, what was your one?
28.15. I said my 10K PB.
No, Casey's.
What did he run?
21:02.
Oh,
Speedy little boy.
Dang.
wow. Oh, wow.
Sub 7 pace. All right.
Yeah.
And that
I'll take that.
Parkrun's all on grass as well. There's no
Yeah.
no
and
path.
there's a big-
It's like a cross country course.
Yeah.
Okay, so total world ranking. The answer
said five.
is.
I said 5.
I
Yeah,
said
it's
me. Oh, I think the European races.
I just
would have done
haven't
that for me.
raced.
Exactly.
My
Yeah.
2022 is shit.
Yeah. Right. So I'm 3 out of 6.
I've gotten 2.
Well,
Oh,
3
that's
now.
close.
3 out of
Oh,
6.
I said you.
Casey,
All
have
right.
you,
How
are you on one?
10 by K when I've just had my appendix out.
I said 5. Okay.
I'm trying to race still.
I don't know.
It was 5 by K, right?
Yeah, it's 5 by K.
Hey, all right.
10 by K is pretty short. Like, it's just like threshold.
Yeah, but I was running like 40 miles a week just trying to race. It was a treat.
He didn't give that
It was-
context when he
it
asked the
was a treat.
question. It's a no for me.
But I did say he was doing K reps. So if you put K reps, I think you will get the points. That was my hint earlier.
Now, the spirit of 10 by K is different than the spirit of 5 or 6 by K. 10
'Cause
by
they were
K is
quick.
a threshold. Like,
Yeah.
Didn't I close? Didn't I
Okay,
close
John's
my
wrong
pace?
then. John, no point for you, but Casey and Fogg get a point.
38. That road loop, whew, quick. And
Yeah,
I was wearing
speedy.
velocity. So
Also, you were running like 2:38s or something, like your last rep or something.
at the end, yeah. Yeah.
So
Something
who's raced most recently?
Oh, me.
It's John.
Yeah. That's easy. We all got
Nice.
John's high
Alright.
school
I didn't
is
have a clue.
Arcadia High School.
that. Yeah,
Got
that's
it.
right.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep.
What'd you
Okay.
say? Did you say
I just
chaparral?
said I have no clue. Yeah, his dad is at Chaparral now, and they've got a sick like Firebird mascot, so I always remember that one. But I don't know.
Go Birds. That's where my little brother goes.
It's because in Happy Jack we talked about it, so I got saved.
Oh yeah,
by
so I
that.
was wearing like Arcadia stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What's the last question?
is Adam more British or Australian?
I said
I
Australia.
think Adam, you can answer it.
English. Born there. Families from
Yeah.
there.
If I
Your
if
dad's
I,
got
like,
British
just-
accent still.
Yeah.
You've
Mum
got like a
and dad.
mixture.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you now move to Australia for the next 20 years and then move back to America, would you be Australian?
I'd probably say American.
Yeah. Even though I was 7,
Yeah.
it's like still I moved there, I lived there.
I think I've just been around so many more Australians the last 5 years that
Mhm.
like that's what I hear more so than the English because I haven't been around the English.
Yeah. But like Morgan McDonald, he's got an American accent now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is he American?
Yeah.
No, I mean you could still hear the Australian enough.
Yeah,
for me to
yeah,
say,
yeah.
it's Australian, but, like Mick, like you're talking about his twang, like you can hear it because you live
His
in Australia
twang.
for long enough.
Yeah.
Like yeah, but
He
like
does,
a little
yeah.
bit of the Australian twang. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have heard it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh
Yeah, and Adam, you've definitely still got a British accent as well, I'd say. Like, your accent's more British than it is Australian.
Yeah. John does have a call that he has to take, but
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
can
we're
carry on.
literally wrapping up right now. Thanks for coming, John.
Great to meet you.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, huge. Right, okay. So the final 2 questions that we ask everyone that's ever come on the show. The first question is, if you're stranded on a desert island
Oh,
and and you're gonna die there, like, and you can spend it with one person, who would it be and why? They can be fictional, they can be non-fictional. Who would it be?
probably Brandy. Nah. Hang on. Are you trying to enjoy your time with them, or are you trying to survive and you're trying to kill them?
I mean, you've got like, you could end up living there for the rest of your life, like, but you're never getting off. And don't say Bear Grylls because we've had 3 people say Bear Grylls so far.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that would be the easy answer. Yeah.
If food was readily,
he's banned.
probably. I probably wouldn't say someone like, Steve Prefontaine, because it's like I'm not gonna be like are we gonna be friends? Yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna be running really. You might, I don't know, keep fit. You probably have a swim every so often, but like I'd probably just say like one of my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but like I wouldn't want to name one.
You got to
friend.
name. You got to name one person.
Who would you say? Like, would you go like girlfriend? Like,
I was gonna say like somebody with like superpower, like Thanos or something, like somebody who could just like change or but like I feel like if like Thanos was there with me, life would be like pretty good. Like we'd figure it out, you know.
And you'd get off the island, or you just like
I don't know. I just feel like he could. I guess not. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe Mario, like from the video games, like he's pretty resourceful. We'd have good plumbing. Like we'd figure that. Stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I might
think
say
that's a good
like
one. I think Mario is a good one.
maybe Neil from the In-Betweeners, Blake Harrison.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I feel like he, like, I mean, if it wasn't going to be a friend, if I have to pick someone from something, yeah, he would just, you're not getting off the island. I find him pretty funny. He's like he's the best in-betweener, I think.
I feel like it would definitely be like, Adam, I don't know what to do.
That was too good. That you could voice that for him. Yeah. Yeah. Every day I feel like he'd bring something new. So I'd probably I
guess now my serious answer would be my brother Quinn because he's got some like camping, like survivalist experience, and you know, I mean, if you're gonna just be trapped on the island for the rest of your life, you may as well.
Do you know who John would pick?
Oh yeah, John
would have picked your brother. That's why you said it. Right?
yeah. No, I think John might actually pick his brother, Ethan. Ethan, I'm pretty sure, is an Eagle Scout.
True.
And has also like good survival instincts. They get along really well. Like I feel like that's a pretty good answer for him.
Now do I have to say I'll pick my brother, or else like do I seem like me? You know. Yeah.
And then the final question is, what is your funniest running story? So it can be just like a random memory of like during a session or during a race, like someone said something whilst you've been running, or I don't know, anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like an example, if you want one, is that we had this guy, he went out on a long run and he saw a man like with a leash walking a duck? It's so random.
That's pretty good.
Been like countless number of times where I've been running with people, and like, I mean, to be honest, myself included, like toilet troubles have happened.
Oh yeah. I pooped in someone's front yard once. that was tough. That was a dark day.
I've never gone in a front
I feel
yard.
like we've got Casey's one already.
Not to throw him under the bus, but my teammate Isaac Baston from college, like he in his first year, our first year at Drake together, like I don't think there was a single run where he didn't have to go to the toilet. So we'd just be running along, and he would just suddenly sprint off into the bush, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I'll catch up," and he would, nature calls. But that kind of lasted his first year, and then I think he got it under control. But other than that, the one other thing, like from college, after winning conference, where the picture of me and Baston coming down the kind of finishing straight, we like went out that night. It was college. It was kind of, encouraged, celebrate your wins. So yeah, the next morning we had long run. And I was feeling, actually, no, not even the next morning. It was 2 p.m. Our coach pushed it back, kind of knowing the shenanigans that might have gone on, may or may not have happened. We turned up at 2 p.m. and I was feeling a little bit worse for wear. I stood at the start of the long run with my hands on my knees, couldn't start the long run, ended up being dropped home by my coach. And one of my teammates tried to start the long run, got 10 minutes in, was feeling pretty bad, and also had to get dropped home. So yeah, that's one of my stories. Yeah.
I guess
I feel like that photo of you is so iconic. Like it went viral just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like that clip of you going down the home straight is crazy.
That was a good time, good memory from college. Yeah. Yep.
I feel like the one I'm about to tell is honestly like it's probably more terrifying than funny, but like I was on a run with my two friends from high school, Brandon Tim and Jake Fisher. So shout out to those guys. And basically, it was the middle of the winter, and we saw a frozen pond. So we're like, yeah, let's run across the frozen pond. And I think you can probably tell where this is going. We got to the middle, and I started to hear like cracking in the ice. And I think I was just closest to the middle, or maybe I was just the heaviest, but like basically like fell through the ice. And the other guys didn't, thank God. So like I fell through the ice, and it was probably a little bit deeper than I could stand. I was like treading. I was up to my neck in like freezing cold water, like through the ice. And luckily, Jake Fisher, one of the guys who's running with me, like, again, and I guess I just hang out with some guys with good survival skills, but he just like immediately like got down his belly to like distribute his weight more evenly. And Brandon, who was like, it was a decent sized pond, but like I guess he was a little bit further off to the side. He got down on like his knee and like grabbed his ankle, and they basically made a chain to like kind of drag me. And I couldn't get out of the ice for a while. I kind of just like went through just like ripping like a crack in the ice as we got toward the shore until they could eventually drag me out. And then I had like the coldest 2-mile run of my life back to the car, and I had to have one of them drive me home because I was too cold to drive, and then took the most painful shower of my life to try to warm up. Like I had the water all the way to the cold side, and it felt like it was like burning hot. And then eventually I just like was able to get it to like a neutral temperature and like essentially thaw myself out. Honestly, like had those guys not been there, that would have been like my closest like near-death experience of my life. But like looking back on it now, it's just so crazy that that's like the story I decided to tell here. So yeah, pretty wild.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wow. That is scary. One other thing.
That's not even a funny story. That's just quite scary.
Completely did not answer the question, but at least it's interesting.
Yeah. One other thing from 2020, me and my friend Luke Bike McCutcheon and his brother Jamie, actually, we used to go and run with the Burt squad at New Farm Park in Brisbane, and they've run so ridiculously early. And I was trying to film a video one of those days, and Luke, we were lining it up so that Luke would turn up, and we always used to shout "Morning, brother" at each other. And this isn't even that good, but it was just like one of those memories that kind of sticks with you. It was 4:40 in the morning. It was still dark because it was, I think, probably July or August, like Australian kind of winter. We turned up, ready to run. Luke gets out his car, screaming "Morning, brother!" And there are houses like along where you park. And I was shouting "Morning, brother!" back at him. And this guy came out and was not impressed. And then, we didn't have a great relationship with that guy for the rest of the time while we went and parked at New Farm Park. But good times. Yeah.
I've just realised, because John ran off, who actually won the quiz? Was it you, Adam?
It wasn't me.
I think so. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like you won that. So basically,
does he have to do one here, or should we punish Casey?
well, no. So wait, Casey, how many did you get?
I probably got last, to be honest. Like, I did pretty bad.
Yeah, because I think John got at least 4. So basically the forfeit is, well, there's 2. The next run you go on, you have to wear the most embarrassing outfit, and you get Adam and John to pick it out, and then you've got to just do a clip of it, post it on your story, and tag me in it so I can share it.
Okay.
Or the other one is that you can try and rap the Fogg Dog intro.
Oh, oh man. All right. Well, maybe I'll see what the outfit they pick first, and then decide. Either way, I'll have a clip for you tomorrow, of one of the 2.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll make it a surprise, so you'll get tagged with something you won't know what it is, and then you'll.
Maybe you could wear the costume and then
oh my god,
and rap whilst on the run. There you go.
That's impressive.
Gosh,
that would be
a lot harder on the quiz if I knew that. All right.
Anyway,
I'll do it.
Cheers, guys, for coming on. It's been great speaking to you.
It's
been a very different podcast today, but it's been good to have a whole team.
Yeah.
So best of luck across, and see you soon.
Thank you very much.